Hi everybody. Today we're going to be doing some tests on my 2012 Razor. I've been having some issues with the bike. We were out on a tour last weekend, and during the trip the bike kept stalling, losing power and stalling on the side of the trail. If you let it sit for probably about 5 minutes or 6 minutes, it would start right back up again. You can continue on your way for probably about 5 more minutes, and then it would start to bog out and stall again. So first I thought the initial problem might be overheating. It was a warm day. As you can see by the mess on the floor, I took the radiator out and flushed it and cleaned it very well, put a new thermostat in it, and I'm not sure if that's the problem, but by reading some posts, some people say that the fuel pumps are bad to go in these Razors. So today I'm going to do the tests according to the manual, and we'll go from there. So I'll be back in 1 sec. Okay, according to our manual, fuel pump operation, the fuel pump in this bike should have a minimum output of 25 liters per hour and a pressure of at least 45 plus or minus 2 pounds per square inch. And also we will be going to do a volume test to see if it is putting out that much liters per hour. I have done some calculations, and you'll see here by my mathematics that at 25 liters per hour, that works out to 25,000 milliliters per hour, which if you divide by 60 for a minute, it would be 416.6 milliliters per minute. And then divide that by 60, that means we would have 6.94 or 7 milliliters per second. Now on a key cycle on these pumps, the pump usually pumps for like 2.5 to 3 seconds before it builds up the pressure. So according to that, we should have around 63 to 64 milliliters pump out during the key cycle to build up pressure. So I'll set the camera up, we'll try that, and we'll see what we get. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is to disconnect this connector from the fuel pump to the fuel line going up to the rail. And in order to do that, there is a little white clip. You'll see 2 ears, one on each side. What we have to do, I know it's hard to do this when I'm holding the camera, but just have to press that in on one side and on the other. Hook tool here, if I can get a hold of it. Okay, this is not going to work, so I'm just going to pause for a sec and we'll get this off. Okay, so we got the clip out, it's loose, and we just have to pull this off. So the first thing we're going to need is a rag. We'll have to find a rag here, because when we pull this up there is going to be pressure on it. So make sure you protect your eyes and put a little rag on there. Just gently rub that, pull it up, just like that. Ooh, sorry, I probably lost that shot, but anyway. So there, that comes off, and there may be a little bit of gas come out of there. And just make sure that there's no dirt or anything that will fall down into the hole. So we're going to set up, get our hose on here, and we'll test for the volume. Just one sec. Okay, so what we've done is put a probably be about 16-inch piece of 3/8 fuel line, clamped it to the outlet of the fuel pump, and I have a plastic container here, and we're going to be pumping, turning the key on and let it cycle. I probably will let the first one cycle through, just because when I pulled off the line you will lose a little bit of residual gas, which will take a second to build back up again on your first key turn on. So I'm going to turn the key on, let it build up, let it pump out for one, and then dump that gas out, and then we'll measure the next 3 cycles to see if what we'll get. Like I say, we should have around 7 milliliters per cycle. So anyway, no, I'm sorry, we should have 21 milliliters per cycle. So yeah, for every second we should have 7 milliliters per second. So anyway, let's see how that works out. So we're going to put that hose in the cup. This is hard to do with one hand, but okay, let me set up the camera in here and we'll try her. Okay, so here we go. We'll put the hose in the cup. We're going to turn the key on. Turn the key back off. And like I said, we're going to get rid of that initial pour. And we'll back and do it 3 more times. Okay, so number 1 key turn. Turn off. You can hear the clicking of the solenoid for the fuel pump there. So now we'll do this number 2. Turn the key off. And number 3. And turn the key off. So this might be a little easier to see. I start off at 25 milliliters, 50 and 75. So I'm going to pour this in here. And we have almost 75. I'll get that level. So I would guess probably about maybe it's a tad below the 75 line, so I'm going to guess 60 to 65. So that's pretty well in spec of what they say, about 20, 21 milliliters per key cycle. So that's not too bad. So that checked out pretty good. So the next one, we're going to go on to check the pressure that the fuel pump is delivering. So we'll be back with that in 1 second. Okay, to do our fuel pump pressure test, we're going to be using this fuel injectant fuel pressure tester. It is a Innova model 3640 that I recently purchased at the Canadian Tire store in our area, and it comes with the pressure gauge, a length of hose, a threaded fitting. Comes with a little adapter that would screw onto probably an automotive application, but something we don't have here. It comes with this little T that will thread right into the gauge itself, and then you can put pieces of hose on the end, which is what we're going to be doing today in order to check our pump. And also comes with a length of 1/4 inch clear nylon fuel line that you would put on right on that little fitting there. And what that does is when you, after you do your check, you push this button to release the pressure, and the fuel will drain back out. And make sure you drain it into a safe can that will be able to hold gasoline. So we're going to put this on the fuel pump, and we'll give it a test. Okay, so in order to hook up our gauge, we have this hose already attached to the fuel pump, and as you can see on that black plastic T that comes in the kit, on one end I just put a short piece of hose, clamped it. I just put a bolt in the other end and clamp that down, and that will block off the fuel from leaking out on that end. So then the other end will go into our hose coming from our pump. So we'll put that on. And we'll tighten that up. And as I said before, on this end of the pressure gauge, it has a threaded filling that'll screw right into that black plastic T. And then we hook our drain hose on there, and I have to go get the container. And then we just put the hose in that container down on the floor. Okay, so as you can hear, the bikes are out today. So we're going to turn our initial key test here. So we'll turn it on. So that only went up to 30 pounds, 25 pounds. Shut that off. We're going to drain this gas. We'll push this little button here, drain the gas that's in the pressure gauge. try that one more time.